You're on mute. There you go.
Let's try that again. Good Monday evening, everyone. Irish Hammer here with you on Heavy Pour Sports, the Dropping the Hammer podcast, along with Tffany. Tffany, how are you, my friend?
I am good. It was fun to do the stats this week. I'll tell you that much.
Yes, I was thinking all weekend that you're probably sitting there updating that spreadsheet with that big old grin on your face like you've got right now, and that is fantastic. So, in case you haven't heard, Tennessee goes to Starkville, the mighty Duty Noble Field, and proceeds to lay not one, not two, but three big fat L's on the number 8/9 ranked Bulldogs of Mississippi State and clinch the series win on Saturday. But, Tffany, if you're going to go play three games, hell, you might as well win all three of them, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
The Vols get the sweep, a much-needed series win in SEC play, and a great boost for this team that's started to make some turns. We talked about it a little bit last week, and we think some of the things that we've kind of lamented throughout the course of the season starting to show a little progress. And I know it still wasn't perfect, but these guys still played really tough, really gritty. Not a lot of home runs this weekend. And that's okay, because we talked about beginning of the season. We've got to play some small ball, and they were very much able to do that. But one of the big stories coming out of this weekend was Cam Appenzeller, who got named Freshman of the Week for last week in SEC play. And I'm not going to steal your thunder because you're the stats queen here on this show. So, but man, what a series for him. And then we had some bats come alive, and just a really, solid performance game in, game out this weekend in a, very traditionally tough place to play. Although we've had a lot of success against these guys over the years. It's the 11th straight win over Mississippi State. And that's didn't really realize that till we were going into this series, that we had such a winning streak against them, because that's historically, we're just a few years removed, 4 or 5 years removed from them winning a national championship. So to have that kind of record against this type of program is pretty impressive. So just sometimes teams have your number. We kind of live with that in football for several years with certain teams that won't be mentioned. But it just kind of happens that way, and baseball is a funny sport. So,
yeah.
But great win, great series win, and hopefully a launch pad for some things to come. Because I still think that I won't say bubble at this point, but I think Tennessee is still going to have to do some stuff to get a decent chance at postseason play. Who knows? They go on a run, they may even get to host something, but I'm not holding my breath through that. There's a lot of baseball still got to be played against some tough teams. So we'll just have to see how all that plays out. But we can at least talk about this past weekend. So what stood out to you from a number standpoint, from the mighty spreadsheet when you plugged all that in? What was good, bad, or ugly?
So last week we talked about how the scoreless innings for the Vols was sitting around 74%. And that's dropped to 70%. So we made some progress there. There was still, they 6, 5, and 6 innings over the weekend that were scoreless in those games. So still a little bit higher than what we'd want. But I think the situational hitting was a lot better. And through Saturday's game, 18 innings, we used 4 total pitchers.
Yeah, I think that was tremendous.
I think that really set us up for success on Sunday for the sweep, because obviously, if you've got more arms. I do like throwing Appenzeller on Saturday, depending on how far Mac can go, because Appenzeller does tend to be a 3-up, 3-down, especially the first time through the inning, right? So if we can get Mac going 6, 7 innings and you can keep Appenzeller's numbers or pitches low, there's also potential for him to come back on Sunday and close it out. So I think that's a much better move. Throwing him. Gave up his first home run on the weekend, but that was going to happen at some point. But he's at 6 earned runs on the season in 36.1 innings. So, he's the 4th most innings thrown of our pitchers, so right behind all of our starters.
Right.
But I think that was, that was definitely the bright spot. Would love to see Ford to get his bat going again. His bat's been a little bit quiet. He had 3 total hits down in Starkville and no walks. So, the other thing that I think was amazing was the bottom half of our lineup definitely did their job, from Grinlinger down to Abernathy. I think Abernathy was it 3 for 3 on Saturday. So he's out of his slump. So if we can get the top half producing, not many people are going to be able to hang with this team if our pitching is showing up as well.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I know we kind of talked about earlier in the season, that if this pitching staff can live up to its potential, they can hang with anybody. Really in the country. Of course, the UCLAs and the Georgia Techs and the Texas, teams of the world. Definitely a major challenge to that. But this pitching staff is in the bullpen included. I know they've had some struggles. But if they can just get things right and be on target with their pitches and not get too rattled to get in their heads, this team could make a run. Blanco he went almost 7, got 6 2/3 on Sunday, had 6 strikeouts, did give up 2 earned runs, but then the bullpen comes in, closes it out. Bo Rudy looks like he's getting back to form and back on track, which is good to see, because we need that dominant, closer to shut down teams. And he got out of did he come in into a jam and get out of it, or did he create it himself?
No, I think he came into it.
He came into it. He had 2 on, right?
Yeah, because he keeps bringing Chandler Day in some interesting situations, which I understand, and Day's done really well at navigating some of those high-pressure situations that he's coming in. But Rudy came in and adopted that. He didn't create that one.
Yeah. And then on Saturday, Coons and Arvidsson, gosh, what a job they did. Combined to strike out 10, only gave up 2 runs, only had 1 walk in those 9 innings. Just a phenomenal job by those 2. And, of course, Appenzeller, just stellar in his appearance. That guy's special.
Yeah. Another place of improvement from this weekend, we only had 1 hit batter in terms of our pitchers hitting a batter. So
yeah,
that was good to see, because we were having like 4 and 5 a game at one point.
Yeah. That just eventually translates into free runs for your opponent. So that absolutely hit by pitch and, fielding / throwing errors, that's all just self-inflicted wounds. So I'm glad to see us kind of shake that bug off.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was just impressed with overall the mentality that they showed up and played with. I just thought they did a really good job maintaining that composure, and that was good to see.
Yeah, and then of course talked about the other the Saturday, Sunday. Of course, Friday, Landon Mack pitched, went 4 innings, gave up 3 earned, did strike out 6, and then handed off to Appenzeller, and he just absolutely went through. Did give up a couple runs, but he struck out 8 batters in 5 innings, only gave up 3 hits. So just a unreal job by him. I mean, that kid is – and we've got him for, 3 years, I think?
Yeah.
So he is going to be an absolute force. Do you think – I was thinking about this earlier today. Do you think that we will see him move into a starting rotation spot?
I think so. I think next year –
next season.
I think next year, I mean, we should have, well, as long as they can keep Appenzeller, he'll be back. Mac will be back. So that's 2 of our 3 starters for next year. Taylor Tracy, is that his name? I always say it backwards. Tracy's looked good throughout the year. He had 1 game with some control issues. Brown is starting tomorrow, so we'll see if they can get him worked out with some of those challenges he was having the last time he threw. But yeah, I mean, now we have the other Grinlinger coming in as well as an arm. So I think as long as he makes it to campus, because he's obviously a draft threat as well.
Yeah.
But I think definitely we would see Appenzeller move into a starting role next year.
Yeah, I definitely agree because, he pitched 5 in relief in, won a pretty difficult environment and somewhat of a ridiculous situation. So I think he's definitely got the makeup. I feel like he can go a good 5-6 innings.
If you didn't see, because I know you didn't get a chance to watch, but if you didn't see the end when he waved goodbye to the crowd.
I saw the video clip of it and I thought, we're back.
Yeah.
That's what we need to see.
We needed that attitude back.
Yes, absolutely 100%. And it's, we talked about the differences between, Tony and Josh, and it's okay. I mean, but I think that sort of that villain role suits us best.
Yeah.
And it was good to see somebody embrace it.
I think Max got a little bit of that in him too. Both Coons and Blanco had quality starts.
Yes.
So that was good to see as well. There was what was the other stat that I wanted to mention? I mean, Grinlinger, again, just his bat showing up. He was on the weekend.
And it looked like Reese had a pretty good series.
So Grinlinger had 5 hits over the weekend. Chapman had 4.
Mm-hmm.
Marin had 5. Wright had 5.
Right. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I think Garrett Wright had a pretty good series from what I could tell as well. So good. Yeah, we just not that it all hinges on one guy, but again, we've talked about this as well. That I guess there's a little bit more expectation around Ford, and at times he's been absolutely phenomenal, and then other times he sort of disappears, and that's baseball. It's cyclical, but
he did have 3 RBIs on the weekend with his 3 hits, so we'll take
still productive. Still productive.
Job where we needed him to.
Yeah, absolutely. So just kind of looking, just real quick, I'm just going to touch on the rankings because we're still absent from the, and I just go by the D1 baseball top 25 because I feel like that's most statistical based and probably most regarded as accurate.
Yeah.
Still got UCLA at the top, but we did see Texas slip. Basically, I guess we can say they got swept by A&M, right? Because Sunday's game was canceled. So,
can you imagine? I can't imagine sitting there in an 8-hour rain delay just for my game to be canceled.
Yeah. Now I'd be like, no, we playing. I don't care. It's 2 a.m. We playing. I've been here out all day.
I think Schlupp didn't want to though. That was his first time back at A&M since he walked out. So they definitely gave it to him.
Yeah, and rightfully so, should have. That whole thing was just stinky. So it couldn't happen to a better guy. And don't look now, but A&M and Texas have the exact same record at 27-7. So Texas falls, Georgia slips. They slip one spot after losing the. Did they lose the series to Florida?
I didn't actually check in on Georgia this weekend.
I don't know what happened on Sunday.
Ole Miss gets swept.
So, well, anyway, they slipped a spot to 5, and then A&M was the biggest mover up from 18 to 10.
Georgia did get swept. They did lose on Sunday. So
okay, I thought they did, but then I thought about it half a second, wasn't sure. Bammer slipped out of the top 10. They were 8th. They fell to 11th. And then, of course, we sent Mississippi State all the way down to 17 after getting the sweep there. So Ole Miss clinging on by a prayer at 25 and Florida at 20. They weren't ranked. Who cares?
I will say I did expect Mississippi State to come out with a little bit more fire. That's 6 straight home conference games they've lost now.
Yeah, they got swept the previous weekend as well. Yeah.
So I expected a little bit more fire from them.
Yeah, and it kind of looked like we were going to get it on Friday. But then enter Cam Appenzeller, hold my beer. That's not happening. And then I think Saturday they just absolutely gutted and broke their will.
Yeah, so they shifted their ace to Friday, the guy that we talked about that had the 1.5 ERA, which was the same as Appenzeller. They shifted him to Friday, shifted their Sunday guy to Saturday, and then started another guy. Kentucky got swept on the weekend too, it looks like. Did they?
Oh, yes, they did.
I know. We were watching Saturday night, and they were trying to give it away.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they got one, but they lost the series to Auburn.
Yeah, they lost the series. Okay, yeah. So even, I won't say out of desperation because, I mean, you're talking about a top 10 team at the time. But, making those changes kind of, I guess some modest desperation could be said there because they desperately needed to get a win after getting swept at home the previous weekend.
Yeah.
They could ill afford to lose the series, much less get swept by unranked Tennessee. But enter the box office Vols, and they leave with a series win and a series sweep. So upcoming this week, of course, we've got the midweek with UNC Asheville, I believe. Mm-hmm. Blaine Brown is going to get the start, as you mentioned. And this team, again, not very good, which, we haven't exactly played the most stellar of opponents in midweeks, but you play who's in front of you. So still undefeated midweek, and I don't necessarily expect to see that change. UNC Asheville, not a very strong program, and coming into Lindsey Nelson is always a tough task for any non-conference opponent, especially. And then, of course, we get the weekend series at home against the Rebels of Ole Miss.
The first checkered Lindsey Nelson.
Saw that this morning and thought, man, it's about time, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Glad to see that spill over. spill over into baseball. And this is going to be quite a homestand here for Tennessee. Get UNC Asheville, the series with Ole Miss. Then the following week we have Lipscomb, and then the Gumps come to town for a little get-together last weekend of April.
Yeah, that'll be this weekend will be interesting because we're 8-7 and Ole Miss is we're 7-8 and Ole Miss is 8-7.
Yeah.
So the last three Fridays, they've started Elliott, and he's got a 3.69 ERA and 46.1 innings pitched. Their Saturday guy the last 2 weekends has been Townsend, which is a 2.02 ERA on 35 innings pitched. And then Rabe on Sunday the last couple weekends, 3.16 ERA, 31.1 innings pitched. So it will be a pitching duel this weekend again.
Yeah, those aren't terrible numbers, to say the least. And the dude pitching on Saturday, just over a 2 ERA. Any reason why he's not their Friday starter?
He hasn't been in there. It looks like he only came in after they got swept at home by Mississippi State. So I don't know if there was an injury or they just made a change to their order.
Gotcha.
So he's right around where Appenzeller is. So Appenzeller is 36.1. He's 35.2. Appenzeller's got a better ERA, 1.49. He's at 2.02 with one less inning. So, yeah, I mean, he's good.
Yeah, college baseball, I mean, you've got a significant number of innings and your ERA is 2 or less, you're pretty dang good.
Yeah.
So that's that should be pretty entertaining, and finally get a. It's been a minute since we've had a. I guess LSU was our last. Yeah. Was our last home series, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so their Saturday guy, Townsend, he's given up 27 hits, 11 runs, 8 earned, 54 strikeouts. So comparatively, Appenzeller has 43 strikeouts.
Yeah. Okay, so this guy's a fireballer then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I like where we are currently with the momentum. I feel like that was just a huge boost to confidence, morale, everything.
Yeah.
To go down and get a sweep of a top 10 team. So hopefully we see that kind of carry over, keep inching our way back, getting more consistent, seeing some of these deficiencies sort of start to correct.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. And I know we have got a tough way to close the season out with, a series at home against Texas and then a series at Oklahoma. But, if we can just handle some business in between, get these younger bullpen guys some pitches. SEC tournament time, NCAA tournament time, you never know. Because we've seen our teams go on runs and some inexplicable situations go in our favor. So you just never know. Chip in a chair mentality, as we say in the poker world. So hopefully that's what we can generate. So anything else that numbers wise that we can talk about or stood out to you?
So we're sitting at 56 total home runs. 3 of those are grand slams. The biggest series that we need to focus on winning, Ole Miss. Bama's beatable. Kentucky is beatable.
Yes.
Texas is going to be a challenge, but it's at home. And then Oklahoma at Oklahoma. So, and Oklahoma is beatable, I think. So, they just really got to focus on what they can control.
Yeah. And I definitely think Texas is going to be the the most challenging series left on the schedule. Playing at Oklahoma is not necessarily easy, but I feel like we can. We can hang in there on the road. Texas is the one that's going to be tough. I don't care where you play that game.
Yeah.
What's up, Juice? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that apparently a UK fan must have reported something Juice did, because he has absolutely owned that fan base over the last, gosh.
Oh, he's been the one talking about Louisville and Tennessee stuff and Pope in a locker, right?
I'm telling you,
I've been laughing.
Juice is deep in his bag right now with transfer portal and the non-commits that Kentucky has been able to produce so far. So got to always give Juice some love. He is relentless in his trolling of Big Blue Nation. So not surprised that he got suspended, to be honest. Hopefully you get that worked out, Juice. But yeah, I think the Ole Miss series. Even Alabama. They're not unbeatable. Let's be honest. And then Kentucky. That shouldn't, like pretty much any other sport that we play, it shouldn't be a problem dealing with those people. So, all right, well, good deal. Well,
I'm genuinely just wondering if Kentucky's going to be able to have a basketball team next year at the rate Pope's going.
Well, and I feel like, and I've kind of talked offline with different people about this, and the majority of what I know about Kentucky basketball comes from my compadres, the Heavy Poor Sports Border Rivals podcast. But I do kind of keep an ear to the ground independently as well, some things, and I've kind of gathered that I feel like they're sort of putting a lot of their eggs in the Tyron Stokes basket. And it kind of makes me wonder if they're so hyper-focused on him that they're letting some of the other guys kind of fall through the cracks and go other places. And I just have a hard time believing that even if they land Stokes, that's going to be the end-all, be-all for their program. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Because if they don't get him, regardless of what anybody says, they are going to lose their minds if they don't land Tyron Stokes.
Yeah.
So
well, it's been funny to watch.
It just get your popcorn ready, as I heard it said one time. It's going to be a fun ride, especially if he doesn't sign. Just is what it is, y'all. All right, so I know you got to go, but
yes, I got to run. Thank you.
Thank you so much, as always. Appreciate your insight, your hard work, your spreadsheets, and just being an all-around great person. So
awesome. Thank you.
So thank you so much. If you're not following Tffany, I can't imagine why you wouldn't. You can find her on Twitter at Vol212320. And, of course, you catch her right here every Monday evening that my schedule permits, chopping it up, talking about the Vol baseball program. So, Tffany, thank you so much. Look forward to this weekend and getting back with you next week.
Absolutely. We'll see you next Monday.
All right, great. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to hang around for a few minutes because I just wanted to kind of touch a little bit on this whole transfer portal deal. Just an update so far. We have landed 3 commits. We've got Tyler Lundblade, of course, the sharpshooter out of Belmont. Got Day Ames, guard out of Cal, who, if you don't know, and I didn't know a lot about him other than just familiar with his name, go pull some highlights of him. This kid's electric. He's going to be more of a combo guard. I don't see him as being a true point guard. Very similar to what Jacoby Gillespie was. And hopefully we get to see him have a little bit more off-ball action and minutes than what Jacoby did, because Jacoby was basically the only point guard we could run out there and have any kind of confidence in. And then Miles Rubin, the big man out of Loyola, Chicago. I saw a tweet from, I think it was Leland, that said Sister Jean is looking up, pissed off. It was so wrong, but it was so funny. They have him listed as a center. I really think he's more of a power forward type, which I guess he can be a rim protector. He averaged a little over 2 blocks per game this past season, so can kind of serve 2 roles there. I would like to see him maybe a little bit more of like a stretch big type role than just a rim protector, but he's got the size if 6'10", so if he needs to be. I would like to see us get one of these big 7-footers, monsters that are out there, because when we did go up against the big guys, Mara, for an example, the size difference did kind of get exposed a little bit. So I feel like we need to go get that true just big man, 7'1", 7'2", rim protector. But Rubin's a heck of a player, heck of an athlete, so pleased to see him. We do have Terrence Hill Jr., the guard out of Virginia Commonwealth, scheduled for a visit, as well as Jalen Harrelson, who is he's kind of a wing player. He's listed as a guard, but he's really more of that small forward wing type player. I think he's like 6'7", really talented. And I think he would be a great addition, especially now that, we've seen Jalen Carey end up going to Missouri. Holy cow, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, whatever, dude. That's fine. To me, that's just hilarious that he's made his path from Coach Barnes, a 3 straight Elite 8 program, to Mizzou. So he can go be lazy for them. Guy that's pretty high on our priority target list is Najah Hines. He's forward out of Seton Hall. And then I think Juke Harris apparently still on the table. At one point over the weekend, I think Saturday, it looked like he was kind of headed to Michigan. There was a couple projections out there, maybe even a crystal ball projection for him to Ann Arbor, but that apparently is not the case. So Juke is very much back in play. We know that it's going to come with a price tag, so I think just have to decide if we want to tie that kind of money up in a player, or do we want to go get a couple other guys for some depth. I don't know. Juke is he's pretty special. Be another great wing player to have on the roster. And then, of course, Thomas Dowd, the forward out of Troy, who looked like we were really good position to land early. And now that we haven't, it's got me a little bit concerned. Still some time. And I don't know that anybody else has made just a ridiculous run at him. But I think the longer this thing goes, the less good I feel about it. But who knows? You never know when you're dealing with 18, 19, 20-year-old kids and millions of dollars. That recipe oftentimes doesn't lead to options that make sense. So it is what it is. So that gives us on this roster officially Tyler Lundblade, Day-Day Ains, Miles Rubin, Troy Henderson, and Dwayne Brown. So still a lot of work to be done, still a lot of time. I know if I were another fan base that had absolutely zero commits out of the transfer portal at this point, I would probably be a little panicked as well. But again, it's quality, not quantity. And, I've quoted this movie for 20 years. I'm going to say it again. You're not looking for the best players. You're looking for the right ones. And Coach Barnes has clearly made an emphasis on getting guys that can score. And because that was painfully obvious that we didn't have enough scoring options, really throughout the course of the season. Then we sort of, went on a nice little run there in the NCAA tournament until we ran into a team that had about 8 or 9 scores on it. And that's when the deficiency from having scores was dramatically exposed. So clear shift in mindset and in construction of this roster for Coach Barnes. So I would expect to continue to see whomever comes in to Knoxville going to be guys that can get buckets, and we certainly need all those that we can get. Feel really good about what we've got so far. I like some of the targets and some of the names that we're involved with. Of course, everybody's got their wish list out there, and I'm still a big Money Williams guy. Would absolutely love to land him, and then that big guy from Cincinnati that I can't believe is not getting as much, I guess, conversation and chatter as I thought he would. Mustafa Thiam, I'm going to guess. I don't really know how he pronounces his name. I'm just going to be honest with you. But seen some tape on him, true 7-footer, and I mean, dude's just long, and that would be a great guy to fill that Felix Okpara role that Felix was so good at over the past couple seasons. So all that said, that's where we are, transfer portal. Hopefully we get a few more announcements as the week progresses, and can't help but keep an eye on this Tyron Stokes to Kentucky. Apparently he's in town, and official visit is tomorrow. Don't necessarily know if we'll know anything tomorrow, but it certainly is going to be fun to watch, especially Big Blue Nation kind of squirming right now. So anyway, well, that'll pretty much wrap it up for us tonight. Quick show. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Look forward to the games this weekend. Tomorrow, UNC Asheville. And then, of course, we get Ole Miss for the SEC series this weekend. So, again, thanks, everybody. Love you, mean it. And we will see you soon.